Yes, sir.
Please stand by for a live audio.
Step into Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises, and turn website layouts into an art form.
this special sitting of council at prayer.
Let us pray. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. God of our father and mothers, in you we live and move and have our being. We thank you for introducing us to a new day filled with the opportunities of pleasing you. Thank you for safely bringing each person gathered here to this special meeting of council to dedicate and name this chamber in the honor of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, a Jamaican patriot, national hero, and who sat and shared his vision for the upliftment of his people as a part of this council. We thank you for his devotion to your people and for his willingness to be your servant, Lord. We thank you that his faith was grounded in you and helped him to articulate a liberation theology which has served to influence Black, Pan-African, and Caribbean liberation theologies today. As we reflect on his vision and faith, we ask that your guidance and wisdom will fill this place, that your presence may be felt in every meeting held in this chamber, that discussions conducted within it be held with respect, understanding, and a spirit of cooperation. Guide the decisions made here so that they may reflect your will and bring about positive changes within this city. Lord, we lift up this nation, Jamaica, to you, the bitter and the sweet. It pains us whenever we see cruelty and when its citizens turn on each other with violence. When the call of Marcus Garvey to emancipation our minds falls on deaf ears. When many forget the values taught and the sacrifices made by many who came before us and who struggled to lift up the lives of future generations. Yet how can we, O Lord, forget the beauty of this land, the ingrained goodness and accomplishments of its people? So bless our land and bless our leaders with wisdom, integrity, and with a heart for justice. For Patrick, for Andrew, and for Mark, and for our mayor and deputy mayor, Andrew and Delroy, and the councillors of the KSA MC. Guide them in making decisions that honor you and benefit all people. May they lead with compassion and with a vision for a brighter future. And Lord, we cannot forget the staff of this municipal authority. Grant them the strength and dedication to serve our community with excellence and fairness. May they work together in harmony, always seeking the common good and the welfare of all citizens. Finally, let us remember those who are disadvantaged and marginalized in our society. Provide them with comfort, hope, and opportunities for a better life. We also lift up the sick and the suffering, asking for your healing touch and peace to be with them. Surround them with your love and care. And now may this chamber symbolize a place where justice, peace, and prosperity may flourish. All this we ask in Jesus' name. We pray, amen.
Notice convening the meeting.
Mr. Worship, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, Office of the Chief Executive Officer, 24 Church Street, Kingston. It's August 14, 2024. Dear Sir, Madam, you are hereby summoned to attend a special meeting of the Council of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, scheduled to be held on Saturday, August 17, 2024 at 11:30 a.m. in the Council's chamber, 24 Church Street, Kingston, to facilitate the naming of the Council chamber to the Marcus Garvey Council chamber. By order, Robert H. Beaker, JP, Chief Executive Officer.
Thank you, CEO. Excuses for absence.
Worship, I have received the following excuses from Councillor Vernon McLeod, who's overseas, Councillor Donovan Samuels, who's not well, Councillor Leroy Clark, and Councillor Dwayne Smith. Oh, my apologies, as well as Councillor Charmaine Daniels, who is also overseas.
Robbie, this is where you ask suspension. You ask for the All right, thank you. Could you just acknowledgement?
Your Worship, with your permission, we have amongst us some very special guests, of course, commencing in bold and in larger print, and with your permission, Your Worship, we welcome some of you. Dr. Julius Garvey. The Honourable Stedman Fuller Custos Motalorum for the parish of Kingston. Justice Norris Grooms, JP representing Custos Ian Forbes of St. Andrew. Senator Sophia Fraser Binns. Senator Damian Crawford. Former Mayor of Kingston, Dr. Angela Brownberg, and Mr. Paul Burke. Honorary Consul, Mrs. Yodit Hilton, Consulate of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia in Jamaica, and her husband, MP Anthony Hilton. Mr. Kelechi Opara, representing the Nigerian High Commission in Jamaica. Mr. Heru Bishaka Musa Menelik, President of the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party. Mr. Stephen Golde, President of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Professor Rupert Lewis, foremost Garvey scholar, University of the West Indies. Our own councillors, management and staff of the Kingston and St. Andrews Municipal Corporation, former councillors, members of the media, Marcus Garvey followers and acolytes, ladies and gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you, CEO. Statement or announcement. God and nature first made us what we are, and then out of our own created genius, we make ourselves what we want to be. Follow always the great law. Let the sky and God be our limit, and eternity our measurement. These profound words of Marcus Garvey resonates deeply as we gather here today. Council members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today we are here not just to name the chamber, but to honor a legacy and celebrate a name that stands as a beacon of courage, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to the upliftment of people. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Jamaica's first national hero. It is very fitting that we choose to name the council chamber after Marcus Garvey, for it was in these very chambers that he once served with passion and dedication when he represented the Almantown division following the local government elections of October 1929 and again October 1931. Garvey's journey was one of exceptional commitment to the cause of Black empowerment, social justice, and economic independence. His service to the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, as it was called then, was characterized by his fierce advocacy for the rights of the marginalized and his visionary leadership in the face of overwhelming adversity. Born in St. Anne's Bay in 1887, Garvey's life was shaped by the harsh realities of colonial rule and the systemic inequalities faced by the people of African descent. Yet he refused to be confined by the limitations imposed upon him. Instead, he emerged as a global leader, founding the Universal Negro Improvement Association, an association that sought to unify and empower Black people worldwide. His message was clear and powerful that we as a people are the architect of our destiny, and that we must take pride in our heritage, our culture, and collective strength. Garvey was a man of action whose words were not just talk, but was a rallying cry for a race oppressed for centuries. His work in this very municipal corporation was marked by steadfast belief and upliftment of people, was not just a matter of charity, but it was a moral and political imperative. He understood that the true measure of a society lies in the ability to empower all its citizens, particularly those who have been historically disenfranchised. As we name this chamber after him, we do so not just to honor his memory, but to remind ourselves of the enduring relevance of his teaching. Garvey's philosophy and self-reliance, his emphasis on pride in one's heritage, and his clarion call for unity among the people of African descent were principles that remain as crucial today as they were during his lifetime. In Jamaica today, we face many challenges that Garvey himself would have confronted head-on. The issue of skin bleaching, for instance, is a sign of a deeper problem, a lingering colonial mindset that values lighter skin over darker tones. Garvey preached the gospel of self-love and Black pride. He urged us to see our beauty in our African features and reject the lies that have been promoted to make us feel less than we are. Garvey would have reminded us that our values does not come from conforming to an image imposed upon by others, but from embracing our fullness of our identity as descendants of proud and resilient people. His words resonate today as powerful antidote to the destructive force of self-doubt and insecurity that lead to too many of our young people down to the path of self-destruction. Beyond skin bleaching, Garvey teachings offers solution as other present issues in our society. His vision of economic empowerment, the Black people owning businesses, controlling their own resources, and building wealth within their communities, is a vision that we must continue to pursue. In a world where economic inequities are growing, where the gaps between the haves and the have-nots is increasing, Garvey's call for economic independence is more relevant than ever. Further, his emphasis on education as a tool for liberation cannot be forgotten. Garvey believed that knowledge was the key to freedom, and that education was the means by which we could break the chains of mental slavery. Today, as we struggle with issues in our education system, as we work to uplift the young people and equip them with the tools that we need to succeed, we must remember Garvey's call that education must be rooted in an understanding of our history and culture, and it must be empowered to take control of our own destinies. Garvey also spoke very strongly about the importance of unity, of standing together as a community, as a race, as a people, as a nation. He understood that our strength lies in our solidarity, and that divided we are weak, but united we are invincible. In today's Jamaica, where violence and social fragmentation often threatens to tear the core of our society, Garvey's call for unity is a message we must heed with a sense of urgency. He envisioned a world where people of African descent, wherever they may be, would stand together in mutual respect and support, recognizing that our collective progress is linked to our willingness to support and uplift one another. As we dedicate this council chamber in Marcus Garvey's name, let us commit ourselves to living the principles he preached, Let this chamber be a place where decisions are made that uplift our people, where policies are crafted that reflect the values of justice, equality, and the empowerment of that Garvey passionately championed. Let this place be where the spirit of Garvey lives on, inspiring us to continue to work the work he started, to build Jamaica that is strong, self-reliant, and proud of its heritage. Let us take this moment to reflect on the broader consequences of Garvey's legacy. His teachings are living, breathing ideals that have power to transform the society. As leaders, we must strive to embody the principles he stood for: integrity, courage, and an unshakable commitment to the welfare of our people. We must be vigilant in ensuring that the policies we enact and the programs we support and the decisions we make are aligned to the vision of empowerment and equality that Garvey so fiercely advocated. I would like to add that the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, as it was known then, the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, as it was known then, was the municipal authority even before central government envisioned the idea of declaring August 17 as Marcus Garvey Day. This was moved by the then councillor Ian Telfer and seconded by then councillor and now Deputy Mayor Delroy Williams at the sitting of August 14, 2012, and my good friend, Member of Parliament, Angela Brownberg, was mayor then. Let us remember the word of Garvey himself. Up, you mighty race, accomplish what you will. This chamber now bears the name, stands as a testament of our commitment to his vision and to his enduring power of his legacy to guide us as we forge the future of our beloved nation. Let it remind us every time we step through the doors of our responsibility we bear to continue the work of building Jamaica that honors the past, embraces the present, and boldly shapes the future. Thank you very much. No, but Robert, you don't have to because on the other people. Okay. I'll move into brief remarks now by the president of the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party, Mr. Menelik. Robbie. Okay.
Well, I don't know if my volume is large enough. It gives me great pleasure to be alive today to witness the naming of the chambers, the Marcus Garvey chambers. The work that the Honourable Marcus Garvey did in his days and the vision that he passed on to us, the followers, the Garveyites, we are truly empowered. When I heard the speech made by His Lordship, the Mayor, that we should embrace the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey to take us into the future. And just one simple thing that Mr. Garvey articulated, self-reliance. Can you imagine if Jamaica was self-reliant in providing food for us? I understand through the statistics that we import 75% of the food we eat today. And we have 80% of good farmland that is not being developed. We need to look to that vision of Mr. Garvey that we can feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, and shelter ourselves. I give thanks.
Thank you, Your Worship. Greetings to the honorable members of this chamber. You know, since 1952, our House of Parliament recognized August 17th, first as a public holiday in St. Anne, and then in 2012, on the urging of this council, and later proclaimed by the Governor General to be officially known as Garvey Day. So I greet you all today by saying Great Garvey Day to you all. I speak in St. Anne's Bay later, so hopefully they won't hear that I said this before I get there. But Kingston has officially claimed Marcus Garvey. Not only did he live at Pink Lane in Denham Town and then at Charles and Orange Street in Fletcher's Land, but he sat in this council as the councillor for what is now the Allman Town Division. At that time, I don't think anybody dared to make the point that...
Donald, everything okay?
Yeah, great. Why?
Well, you look ridiculous, so.
I look ridiculous? You're wearing boots and a cape. It's summer, bro.
We're nutcrackers.
Your problem is you think nutcrackers and walnuts aren't relevant in summer. You do realize that ice cream, salads, and avocado toast are all way better with walnuts?
Fine. How's this? Better?
I'll let you know once my retinas stop burning.
This summer, pick up a bag of California walnuts at your local Sprouts.
But that was not the case in Marcus Garvey's time. And so as we rename these chambers in honor of him, I would like us to be mindful and to always bear in mind as we deliberate that Garvey came into this chamber with a particular agenda to serve the majority African descendant people in this country when he constituted the People's Political Party in 1929. And let us not ignore the fact that the powers that be at that time were vehemently opposed to his work and his agenda. They even locked him up to see that a clause that said that if you don't take up your seat in 3 months, they would put it up for a by-election, which they did, and which he won in absentee. But then they galvanized their forces to prevent him from entering the Legislative Council the following year. So dangerous was this man to the oppressive colonial system at that time that when they couldn't get him out of the council, the mayor then suspended the council altogether. Check your history. So when you name this chamber in honor of our first national hero, you are carrying a great load and a heavy burden. And it is a pledge to the people of Jamaica that you will always put the people of Jamaica first and foremost. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gole. Professor Lewis. We'll now have Professor Rupert Lewis.
Thanks very much, Your Worship, the Mayor Swaby. Custos of Kingston, the Honorable Stedman Fuller, council members, former mayor, Dr. Julius Garvey. My comments are going to be based on the actual minutes of the KCC during Garvey's tenure, so you can get an idea of his thinking. But I'd like to endorse the mayor's statement because I think he has extracted some of the core lessons for today. So this is the 137th year of Marcus Garvey. And Garvey made important contributions to Harlem, New York, and Kingston, Jamaica. Much has been documented about his work and that of the UNIA in Harlem, New York, which was the headquarters of the movement and the location of the business enterprise, its newspapers, its real estate, and its role as a political center for global Pan-Africanism. By comparison, its impact on Kingston and St. Andrew has not been adequately grasped. I mentioned Dr. Robert Love, who served in the Kingston Council, because at that time the parish councils were separated. And Love was a Bahamian who came to Jamaica from Haiti after spending over a decade in Haiti. He was a doctor by training, a medical doctor, and he was the most influential person on Garvey. I regard him as a mentor of Garvey, and Garvey said so in his comments in 1930. The significance of Love is that he was campaigning all over the island for Black people to get into the parochial boards, because parochial boards were dominated by planters, merchants, other landowners. The racial composition of these boards were primarily white. So Love literally went through all the parishes seeking to recruit property owners, Black property owners, because your eligibility for the seat in these boards was the taxes you paid, the land you owned, etc. But there were sufficient Black people with property, even in those times, for us to be more present in the representative bodies. The Legislative Council was a difficult one, because after 1865, when over 400 people were killed by the British abandoned all representative institutions. And it was not until the 1880s that they allowed in some representatives in the Legislative Council. The Legislative Council had very little power in terms of budgetary thing. Everything was the governor, the colonial secretary. Those were the two people who ran the political system. According to the minutes of the KCC on March 14th, 1930, Garvey moved the following resolution at his first sitting: that all male laborers employed to and working under the direction of or serving the interests of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation be paid a minimum in wages of not less than 4 shillings per day, and that all female laborers be paid at a minimum of not less than 2 6 per day, as early as possible, and this minimum shall not affect paying the said laborers by merit at rates above the minimum, and that representation be made to the Legislative Council to increase the estimate accordingly. Garvey also called for the 8-hour day for all employees, laborers, and workers of the KCC. The resolutions were referred to the Committee of Council. These ideas on behalf of the working people had been core to the manifesto of the People's Political Party, but were not to be on the legislative agenda until after political independence. These resolutions were part of a broader program that included land reform, economic diversification of the economy from its reliance on sugar and banana exports, the development of tourism, and educational and health reform. Corruption was a big issue at the time. There was a representative of the council identified as YMCA, which was the acronym for the You Must Come Across. The council in question was one Louis Philip Fernandez. This is Garvey's resolution on Mr. Fernandez. In keeping with Rule 229 of the law governing the corporation, and in view of the convincing evidence submitted against Councillor Fernandez for accepting the sum of £5 from one Yap Sam to exercise undue influence over the council in the matter of opposing a building permit, be it resolved that the same Councillor Fernandez be adjudged guilty of misconduct, tending to bring the council into discredit, and that he therefore be expelled from the council for a period of 30 days. Most councillors supported the resolution. The governor appointed a commissioner of inquiry, and there was a suspension of council for over a year, and new elections were called the following year, 1931. Fernandez lost his position on the KCC. So what Mayor Swaby referred to in terms of integrity, this is a concrete example of Garvey's insistence on integrity. Garvey gave notice to the city engineer that he would be called upon to explain why people in Johnson Pen are unable to receive water. Nevertheless, the pipes are installed in their respective properties, and they are called upon to pay water rates according to the value of their property. These are problems that we face today. Garvey demonstrated his compassion for a young man, George Rowe, who was cursing in the market. Justice of the Peace recommended that he not be allowed to sell. His livelihood would therefore be curtailed. Garvey said it was his first offense, he should be given a chance, and he was allowed to continue selling in the market. Garvey was much engaged in the nuts and bolts of governance at the municipal level. He was in touch with his constituents and represented their interests. But he had a bigger vision for Kingston and St. Andrew. And that vision was expressed in the following resolution. Be it resolved that this council, for purpose of carrying out civic improvements, particularly involving better water supply, better lighting, installing of proper sewage system, improvement to slum areas. The big slum area was a place called Smith's Village, which is in western part of the city. Building a town hall, erecting new fire brigade quarters, laying out recreation grounds, and all such works of magnitude that may be necessary as improvements within the corporate area. Approach government for the purpose of securing the necessary authority to float a loan of £500,000 to undertake the carrying out of these improvements, particularly as a means of relieving the present and continuing state of unemployment and hardship among the people. Be it further resolved that a city engineer be requested to prepare plans and estimates involving the general cost of all these improvements for the guidance of the council in laying before the government the manner in which the amount asked for will be spent, end quotation. And while Garvey is doing all of the work in the council, he is also functioning and organizing two international conventions in Kingston of the UNIA in 1929 and 1934, thus maintaining the Pan-African mobilization for the freedom of Africa from European colonial rule, visiting Geneva in 1931 to petition the League of Nations for African self-determination, publishing two newspapers, the Black Man newspaper from 1929 to 1931, and the New Jamaican 1932 to 1933, which were the vehicles for his advocacy on social, cultural, psychological, and economic issues. He also leased property at 67 Slipe Road, where he set up the Edelweiss Amusement Company that had a 100-person choir led by a famous baritone Granville Campbell. There are also dance troupes known as the Follies, led by Gerard de Leon, and Ronnie Williams was one of several comedians. In addition, there were plays and public lectures by Garvey. Garvey tackled anti-Black racism, and the Mayor Swaby gave examples of skin bleaching. There's an episode involving Amy Jakes Garvey, who was taking a baby boy, Julius, to the doctor for vaccination in 1933 in Kingston, when she met an old schoolmate whose greeting was, "I haven't seen you in ages. What are you doing with this little black boy?" Because Jakes was a lighter skinned woman, and went to Wilma's. It may have been a fellow Mulmerian who saw her, and she made this state comment on this experience in her book Garvey and Garveyism. The whole concept of skin color distinction and the idea of raising one color of marriage dies hard with our people. Finally, in 1934, on the centenary of emancipation, Garvey organized the Jamaica Permanent Development Convention to discuss Jamaica's economic future, given the very negative impact of the worldwide economic depression. He took up the proposals in a lengthy memorandum to the British Secretary of State for the colonies in 1934. I see one of the councillors to my far right here, Councillor McLaughlin, who was one of Garvey's supporters in that Permanent Development Convention, and one of his colleagues in the council who supported some of his resolutions. For these reasons, I really commend our council, or mayor or deputy mayor, for the initiative in renaming these chambers in honor of the legendary Marcus Garvey. Thank you.
It's just fitting that, thank you, Professor Rupert Lewis, and we will actually now move straight into the resolution that was laid on the tables of the KCMC to name this chamber after Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Mr. CEO.
Thank you, Worship. The resolution for the naming of the Kingston and Municipal Corporation's counter chamber in honor of the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Jamaica's first national hero. Whereas the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Jamaica's first national hero and internationally acclaimed philosopher, author, proponent of Black liberation, was an elected councillor in the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, representing the Allman Town Division in 1929. And whereas he was elected during a period of intense classism, racism, and outright discrimination, especially of Black Jamaicans, the vast majority of whom did not own property, nor had the ability to pay the requisite taxes, and therefore were isolated, disenfranchised, and denied the right to vote, but who, through his activism, nonetheless prevailed and won. And whereas in 1914, he founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, in Jamaica. The UNIA, which grew into an acclaimed international organization that encouraged self-government for Black people worldwide, self-reliance, economic independence, self-determination, pride in the Black race, and developed consistent programs and projects to battle racial discrimination. In 1916, Garvey emigrated to the United States of America, where he preached the indomitable doctrine of freedom to the oppressed Blacks throughout the country, and inspired to action millions of African Americans, Africans throughout the diaspora, and Africans in the motherland to respect and to be proud of our African race and our Black skin. And whereas on his return to Jamaica in 1927, his political activism reached its pinnacle as he founded Jamaica's first modern political party in September 1929, the People's Political Party, which in its manifesto advocated for a minimum wage, an 8-hour workday, workers' rights, protection of native industries, a larger share of self-government, the establishment of technical schools in each parish, a legal aid department for the poor, land reform, libraries and civic improvement for parish capitals, and the enactment of legislation to ensure that corrupt judges, if found guilty, could face imprisonment. And whereas Garvey's contribution to the city of Kingston was multidimensional, as in April 1931, Garvey started the Edelweiss Amusement Company, now the location of Rainforest Foods along Slipeway, which promoted talents, local artists, and creatives. It must be noted that several Jamaican entertainers who went on to become popular locally received their initial exposure there. These included Kid Harold, Ernest Cupidon, Randy Williams, and the comedy duo of Bim and Bab. This undoubtedly is one of the early foundation plans eventually leading to the declaration by UNESCO in December 2015, when Kingston was declared a creative city of music. And whereas Garvey's transformative influence and undilutable legacy continues to positively impact nations, cultures, and peoples of African descent the world over, be it resolved in paying homage, giving honor, and credence to the life and the teachings of the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation hereby names this council chamber the Marcus Garvey Council Chamber. And be it further resolved that the KSAMC convene a special sitting of council on Saturday, 17th August 2024, the birthday of the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, for the sole purpose of the official naming of this council chamber. And be it further resolved that this resolution be circulated to the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, the National Heritage Trust, and all chapters of the United Negro Improvement Association. This resolution was moved by Councillor Eugene Kelly of the Whitfield Town Division and seconded by Senator Councillor Delroy Williams, CD, of the Seabright Gardens Division.
Thank you, CEO. Just two notes that this resolution did enjoy bipartisan support. And secondly, as you will see that we are not able to host you as we would love to, and we obviously have to look at in the near future of a new bill, we have to start that discussion. One thing I can assure you, Dr. Garvey, is that wherever we go, the chamber will be named after. I'll ask Dr. Julius Garvey, an accomplished surgeon, but more importantly, the youngest son of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, to address us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's indeed, Mr. Mayor, and all protocol being observed. It's indeed an honor and a significant pleasure for me to be here on such a historic occasion, very much as if the clock has gone 360 degrees, if you will, to honor my father with the naming of this chamber after him. And I'm sure you understand the burden that has placed on your shoulders, Mr. Mayor and council members, because Marcus Garvey said, "Look for me in the whirlwind and the storm." So if you don't behave yourself, I'm coming back with whirlwind and storm, okay, to right the wrongs that you may or may not commit. So I'm going to hold you to that. Professor Lewis has laid the historical foundation and an understanding, therefore, of what my dad faced in terms of opposition. But he stood up to that. That's the important thing about Marcus Garvey, was his character and his commitment to not just himself in terms of accomplishment, but to his people. And he was the perfect example of servant leadership. And I think that's what I would like to see here in this chamber. If you're honoring Marcus Garvey, it must be about the service that you're going to do for your communities and for the city of Kingston and St. Andrew. Because we bear a heavy responsibility. Marcus Garvey was a pioneer, as you understand, and he gave us the first understanding of ourselves as a global people, as a global African people. We're 1.5 billion people all over the world, and wherever we are, we're African. And people condemn us or look up to us based on our Africanness. So Kingston can be an example of excellence. As you know, my father was about excellence. Everything he did was about excellence. If you see how he dressed, I'm trying to emulate him, as you can see. But if you see how he dressed, it was always excellence,
Hi, everyone. Welcome to For Peds Sake from Nicholas Children's Hospital, your source for pediatric health tips. Navigating the terrible twos or need teen health tips? We've got it all. And guess what? Episodes are available in both English and Spanish. Don't miss out. Subscribe now to stay informed, inspired, and connected with pediatric healthcare.
If you uplift Kingston appropriately in terms of its governance and the things that you do for its people, but it will resonate internationally. And, we can link ourselves with cities across the world. We have that capacity because of the fact that Marcus Garvey is known in all 55 countries, certainly in Africa, and certainly also known in the Caribbean and the United States. So in some sense, now you bear a heavy burden to carry the name of Marcus Garvey into the future in terms of your deliberations and what you do for our people, the people of Kingston and the people of Jamaica. And as I said, that will resonate and it will help to carry the message and the spirit of Marcus Garvey around the world. So I congratulate you on what you have done today, and I'm very pleased and very honored to be here to participate. Thank you so much.
I have to give instructions of what to do. You want me to say close talk? All right, the CEO will give us instruction as to how we proceed now.
Thank you, Worship. The formal unveiling, I know that we are the campus piece of worship. I'd like to invite yourself and Dr. Garvey and Deputy Mayor Williams to occupy this narrow space that we're going to be through. Dr. Brownberg. So it is 300. We are all holding the unveiling ribbon. And Mayor, if you wish for me to count. Sure. It is after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, they would have seen it.
I'm a dialect coach. I'm a dialect coach.
Want a career as a dialect coach?
That the doors, both doors have been, his name also has been placed on both doors, and which you will be allowed to view on leaving the chamber. Okay. Can I want to thank you all for coming. Today is a special day, not only in the life of the municipality, but in Jamaica. And I want to recognize that, forget his name just slipped me, but there's a councillor from St. Councillor Bell, who is here with us, traveling all the way from St. Anne to be here. And former councillors are here, but I want to specifically acknowledge who's actually, at the time, she was the chairman of the civics committee, former councillor Marcia Nita, whose birthday is today. Thank you. I just want to thank everyone. I know that there are persons traveling from far. And Mr. Michael Dawson, I know when you actually asked to meet with me, you had told me of this discussion long ago, and you said you love it to be happening, and I gave you my word, and I've kept my word. All right. Okay, I will. Okay, the CEO has hid something from me all this time, so he's prepared to say it now, so I'll allow him to say it.
Thank you, Worship. Your Worship, this being a very significant day and a significant history of not only Kingston and St. Anne, but in fact Jamaica. There are persons amongst us that are also sharing in this history. And I'd like to, with your permission, to call them out individually. They are Mr. Clive Fagan, a friend of the Kingston and St. Anne Corporation, whose birthday was on August 14th. Councillor Winston Lee Ennis OD, and Councillor Jesse James Clark share a birthday on August 15th. Dr. Julius Garvey's birthday, 91st birthday, was yesterday. She was just mentioned. Former Councillor Marcia Nita, her birthday is today. The co-curator and managing director of Kingston Creative, Andrea Dempster-Chung, birthday is today. well-known sports administrator, so he went to the wrong school, Mr. Denzel Williams. Birthday is also. I've just been advised that Minister David Mohammed of the Nation of Islam, his birthday, and he's outside his birthday, is today the representative of the Honourable Louis Farrakhan. His cake has been procured to celebrate these. Sorry, that's all right.
You invited them to cut. You invited them to cut.
Oh, wow! Your worship, the Custos of Kingston, the Honourable. His birthday is on Wednesday coming. So we'll ask those present who have been mentioned to come forward to partake in Oh, I'll blame your worship. I didn't remind you.
Yes, yes.
The 9th of August. So I'll ask the celebrants to, as best as they can, just come forward. So it is.
For symbolic cut to the cake.
Yes.
Yeah, man, no. But all of them cut.
On the 26th, so we got
David, I need to see you. No, David.
I'd like I know folks have been in the chamber should call you nice.
Do that, Sir Garvey. He's representing Marcus. Let's get to them. You want to turn? Okay.
You're having a live coverage of the KSMC in Kingston, Jamaica. The chamber is now named the Marcus Mosiah Garvey Council Chamber. His Excellency, the Mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew, Mr. Dwight Swaby, has just named the council, the Marcus Garvey Council Chamber. In attendance was the Custos Rotololium of Kingston and St. Andrew. Remember to join us later on today with Richard Rattigan, our fearless leader, the man who hailed from Waterhouse, will be on this afternoon with a very robust discussion, and his guests will be on from 3 o'clock until you say when. So join us then as we come to you live with Richard Rattigan. Thank you all very much for watching.
Robbie, I'm gonna ask him and him to do one, and Dr. Garvey and Prof. The Ganda one. Prof. Ganda one. All right. Today is the first council day. I have not used the gravel. It's not in the room. So please don't let me send for it, because Marcus wouldn't like to have us using the gravel. All right. So, all right, just an update. We're going to end the meeting, Robert, Jesse. We're going to end Oxford and German, but just before we do, I had indicated that both doors have the name bearing Marcus Garvey, and we're going to unveil those. On one side, are going to have Mr. Dawson and Professor Rupert Lewis to unveil one. On the other side, I'm going to ask President Menelik and Stephen Golden to unveil the other one. Okay? All right. So can I have someone move for the adjournment? Moved by Councillor Carl Blake, second by Councillor Winston Ennis. All in favor? Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can't say that's your entire council.
I never knew whether I was supposed to or what.
No, you don't have to. No,
But I know today. I want to thank you. I want to say thank you very much for joining the Make We Talk program as we come to you live from Kingston, Jamaica. Join us at 3 o'clock with Regent Rattigan. Go over there and watch Regent Rattigan as he has some very exciting guests will be on today. We're going to have an exciting program. The fearless leader, the man who hailed from Waterhouse, Wilfred Rattigan. Have a great afternoon, everyone. God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Have a great afternoon.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.